That is exactly how we're going to get Phil Spencer on the show. Oh, look at this! 2020 GOTYs from the Legionnaires have finally come in. Alright, well, let's change it on the video. Greetings, Legionnaires. Today I was lucky enough to receive some reports from our Legionnaires in the field about their Game of the Year nominees for 2020. I wanted to give you guys a platform to just kind of showcase and talk about the things that you really resonated with this year. So, let's get to it. We're going to start off here with Missile Mage, one of our best and brightest. Here's what he says. There are many big and fantastic video games that came out last year, but there is one game that I absolutely don't want people to pass over, and that game is the Pathless. Not since I played Spider-Man has movement in a game felt so good to me. There were so many times where I would completely pass by my objective because I was lost in the joy of just moving. Whether you're just traversing the land or trying to escape from the storm that's chasing you, it just feels incredible. I also love the puzzles. None of them are too difficult or taxing, but the map is filled to the brim with them, and there are so many that you will just miss. There's no mini-map, so you accomplish whatever you happen to stumble upon. Most of all, the game rewards you for being curious. If you think to try something, it probably will work, and that is just so rewarding. There are also a handful of boss fights, which are as cinematic as they are fun to play. Like most things in the Pathless, I don't think the fights are too challenging, but they are well put together. And each boss brings something different to the table, so they challenge your skills in different ways. And rather like the traversal, once you start nailing the mechanics, I can't express how good it feels. I would be remiss not to mention the music or art style before I finish. The score is fantastic, although with Austin Wintory you'd expect nothing less. The art style is also simply beautiful. Whether you're dashing through the snowy mountaintops or soaring above the greens and yellows of the plains, the game is simply a joy to look at. And speaking of soaring, I just love the bond you make with your eagle. It's a partnership that only grows throughout the game, and on the few occasions the game takes it away from you, you really feel the loss. Plus, most importantly, you can pet the eagle. And if that doesn't make you want to play this game, I don't know what will. To sum it all up, the Pathless is a game that I found took no effort to sit down and play. It's one of the most relaxing games I've played in some time. The game isn't without its moments where you have to be on your toes, sure, but it's never stressful. It's been a long time for me since the game has captured the wondrous feeling of exploring an open world quite as well as this one. There have been many incredible games this year: The Last of Us Part 2, Persona 5 Royal, Hades, Doom Eternal, and the list goes on, much longer than that. But please, while you're choosing between all of those other wonderful games, play the Pathless. You won't regret it. No. Wonderful report. It was excellent. This one comes in from Lodiaz. Hi, Jimmy. Oh, hi, Lodiaz. Well, what a year it's been, both in gaming and just in general. However, I'm here to talk about my games. First of all, I'm just going to say Final Fantasy VII Remake. Both awesome and frustrating. The doors, oh my god, the doors. How hard could it be to make some proper texture? And environments, why are they so repetitive? I understand that they're in the same type of building or built by the same company, but there were times I got really lost and almost dropped the game for a bit. Thankfully, the combat was super fun and I enjoyed trying different materials and combos. Almost wanted more. Even though I still gotta try a hard playthrough. I hope we get the next part soon. The biggest game for me this year is The Last of Us Part 2. Love that game so much. I normally don't play scary games, but The Last of Us 2 really hit me on so many levels. Special shout out to their animation team. Holy crap, the animations are so well done. Fluid and realistic, which immersed me as well. The story made me laugh, cry, scream, and feel hope and loss, and so much more. I need to go back to it sometime and wrap up the last collectibles, etc. Also, by the end of the year, I picked up Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I love Vikings, so this felt like the game for me. I haven't played Assassin's Creed in really long though, and the game seems so big. It might become my Skyrim of this generation. A game I will drop in and out of and just run around in when I've got nothing better to do. Hope 2021 will be even better. I want to touch on the whole cyberpunk train wreck, but nah. Adapt and overcome. Lodiaz, excellent. That was fantastic. This one comes in from layman's terms, aka Ryan, aka one of our greatest supporters, Ryan. Now, what is my favorite game of the year? That is a difficult question. First, we should look at all the games I played this year that came out. After a review of my games, I've only played 4 this year that fit the previous qualification. One is Super Mario 3D All-Stars. That doesn't count though, since they are all enhanced versions. The next 2 are Resident Evil 3 and Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Both were good games, but to me both felt lacking. So almost by default, I come to Animal Crossing New Horizons, which is my game of the year. To keep it short, the game was what I expected, and a bit more. This game kept me going through most of the year. Well done, Ryan. That's excellent. Great reports. Oh no. It's our final report here. It's from Zora Caviar, aka Caden, aka... Everybody, I hope you're sitting down. 2020 has been a hotly contested year in the arena of video gaming, with bestsellers like Animal Crossing New Horizons and The Last of Us Part 2 going toe-to-toe with critical darlings like Ori and the Will of the Wisps and Hades. It's easy for many lesser-known titles to get lost in the shuffle. This unfortunate fact of life weighs particularly heavily on me today, as I have yet to encounter a single person, other than myself, who has even played my personal pick for 2020 Game of the Year. That's right. I'm talking about, you guessed it, Fast and Furious Crossroads. The Last of Us Part 2 has been nominated for numerous awards for the performances of several of its actors, including all-star voice talents Troy Baker and Laura Bailey. Well, I'm here to tell you those guys can move over. Fast and Furious Crossroad has Vin Diesel. I know, I can hardly believe it myself. Even the most seasoned video game voice actors simply can't compete with veteran Hollywood, that's right, I said Hollywood, actors, let alone the cream of the crop, Mr. Diesel himself. And you can tell developer Slightly Mad Studios knew exactly how to utilize such talent. You have to use it sparingly or risk ruining the entire dish, like salt. That's why Mr. Diesel barely appears in the entire game. They even opted to prevent players from skipping cutscenes so they don't accidentally miss him. And don't worry, if you fail a mission, you get to rewatch any cutscenes, sometimes several per mission. This time, still without being able to skip them, just so you can soak in that Vin Diesel goodness all over again. So generous. And when you do finally get to the gameplay, oh boy, let me tell you, you are in for a wild ride. The developer understands that investing in hyper-realistic graphics is a waste of time, and retro graphics are what real gamers crave. If you are a true fan of last-gen, or even last-gen racers, then you will feel right at home in Crossroads. Why animate character models when they will be in cars most of the time? But while Crossroads pleases with old-school graphics, the gameplay is all new school, baby! Other new games we've seen this year, such as Doom Eternal and Halo Infinite, have showcased a new wrinkle in their gameplay formula in the form of a grappling hook. Well, guess who they stole it from? That's right, Crossroads has a car grappling hook. Sure, those other guys can reel in a single alien or demon with their grappling hooks, but can they reel in an entire giant tank packing flamethrowers and miniguns? Yeah, I don't think so. Well, Crossroads knows how to bring the boom. It also knows and when to be subtle, and pushes the boundaries of the genre by introducing all new stealth driving missions. I know, I didn't think puttering forward at 10 miles per hour during a linear on-rails espionage mission was what I wanted out of a game called Fast and Furious either, but trust me, it will surprise you. So please, I beseech you, humble reader, listener, viewer, take a chance on Fast and Furious Crossroads. Give the little guy a win, and stop blindly funneling money into Sony and Nintendo's bank accounts. Animal Crossing, The Last of Us Part 2, Hades, I've played them all, and they pale in comparison to the unsung masterpiece that surpasses the very movies it was based on. Fast and Furious Crossroads is my 2020 Game of the Year! Well, there you have it, everybody. I appreciate those who wrote in, and if you didn't get a chance to write in, why don't you just leave it down in the comments? I'd appreciate it a lot. Also, if you're interested, we have a Patreon, but I just appreciate you hanging out here with me today. Hopefully 2021 is an even better year with some even crazier games. Until next time, Legionnaires, just remember to adapt and overcome.